Gee, I wonder which one of the Godzilla movies is Freddy gonna review? Gee, I don't know. I hope it's 2014. I hope it's Shin Godzilla. Nah, he better review Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, regardless of which version. I say he better review GMK. No, let have him review Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. I say he better review 1954, the very first and most important of the franchise. I think Freddy should review 1984, his favorite movie, whether it has Raymond Burr or not. No, he better review Final Wars. That one's one of the best movies of all time. Oh, will you guys fucking shut up? Cause let's wait till Freddy shows up. Wait until Freddy shows up and he'll review the film. Guys, I think somebody's coming. Shh. Stay in your positions. Now. Well, I guess it's time I should review the Godzilla movies. Starting with 1954, everybody. What's up, my Monster Masters? Monster Master Godzilla here, and I'm here to begin the reviews of the Godzilla movies. We are now looking at 1954, Gojira, or Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now here I have these two figures to represent the film. Both figures of 1954. Got the more screen accurate version and the skinnier version. Now here we go. What can I say about this movie? It's a timeless masterpiece. Like it paved the way for audiences to have a guy in a rubber suit function really well. And it had some good storyline. It has like set during the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's a glorious black and white film, and it came out in 1954. The effects are amazing for their time and for all time, and it's definitely one I can definitely recommend for all Godzilla fans, especially if you're a hardcore Godzilla fan. This movie gives you like an awesome understanding of who Godzilla really is. So what can I say about this one? The storyline is that Godzilla himself, he's the very first movie where Godzilla is the bad guy. And Godzilla is not fighting another monster like many people associate him as. Someone who defends the Earth from aliens such as King Ghidorah, Gigan, and Mechagodzilla. But this is before it started, but this is the one that started it all. Where this Godzilla is a villain, like destroying cities in Tokyo, going around destroying Tokyo. And he appeared during his first appearance is that he was when Japan was after Japan was in war against America during World War II. America threw bombs at Japan, and then during the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it woke up Godzilla, who is an ancient dinosaur, woken up from nuclear radiation after millions and millions of years. So, and after then, he was feared as an ancient sea god. And one day, and all the people that lived on the island had sacrificed women so that Godzilla won't attack their village. Yeah, I know. It's like King Kong, for example. Supposedly, Tomoyuki Tanaka, the brainchild of Godzilla, he was inspired by movies like King Kong and The Creature from 20,000 Fathoms, which came out a year before Godzilla. And he drew inspiration from those monsters. And the monster and he drew inspiration from the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and made Godzilla to serve as a metaphor for the atomic bombing. So that's when Godzilla is known to be a symbol of nuclear destruction, which that's definitely Godzilla for me. I mean, I always like being, that's truly what Godzilla truly is meant to be, a symbol of nuclear destruction. He's not a savior, not a good guy, and not a superhero either, which we will later get to eventually. And so then when it was popularized in Japan, but then when they released it in the U.S., they had to cut some of the scenes out and film different scenes with Raymond Burr playing the character Steve Martin, not to be confused with the actor and comedian Steve Martin, who was a character and a journalist. And he doesn't really do much in the film. He just mostly stood there in the background, and he just narrates over most of the movie. He's a really good actor. I mean, if you don't know who Raymond Burr is, like Google the name if you wish. But I will tell you this: he was famous in movies like Rear Window, where he played a villain, and he was later famous as a lawyer named Perry Mason, which I'm sure a lot of you folks out there knew that show. But you will have, he does most of the original in the uncut version from Japan, it makes you feel like you're actually there. I mean, also, for those who are Godzilla fans, I watched both of the movies, both in sub and dub. I mean, I do agree that the original Japanese version definitely was better the original film, uncut film, was actually better, of course. Like, literally, a lot of Godzilla movies are better in Japanese. So, I mean, like, when you watch it in the Japanese film version, it feels like you're actually there when that happened. It gives it a frightening tone. And, so then there are scenes where, so then the biggest thing is that Godzilla goes around a rampage, stomping through the city after he pokes his head as he first appears. And you get the traditional when a woman trips and then looks at Godzilla and screams. That's one of the biggest things about Godzilla movies, when after Godzilla shows up, causing a rampage through the city. So then after Godzilla shows up in the city, they establish that he's impervious to conventional weapons. Like, no bullets, bombs, and missiles can't even have any effect on him. And three of the main characters, which Akira Takarada, which plays Ogata, and you'll see him later in other Godzilla movies, and he's played various characters. Sadly, Akira Takarada passed away recently at age 87. And I mean, rest in peace, Akira Takarada. And he plays Ogata, and he was in love with a woman named Emiko, and Emiko also has love for two men, Ogata and Dr. Sarazawa, who is this eye patch scientist, and he created a weapon known as the Oxygen Destroyer. It started off like he used it as an experiment, and it killed all the fish. I mean, the experiment was that water takes away oxygen from us and we drown from it. He makes a machine that makes a technology that takes away oxygen from the fish. And after it takes away oxygen from the fish, it reduces them to skeletons. And it gives it a very dark tone to it. which the 1954 film does have a very dark tone, which especially the Godzilla's bad guy. And what makes it really grim is that all the city was destroyed. Like all the city, like people are crushed under rubble and dying in the hospital, and all those little girls are singing over the morning, which was really depressing. It's definitely not treated like a cheesy B movie. It was treated like a disaster, like a real frightening disaster. So then, as I talk about that Emiko has this love triangle between the two men, and then Ogata, of course, catches them together, but they were all three good friends. So then, after that, the Sarazawa has created this weapon known as the Oxygen Destroyer. He was reluctant on using the device, but it turns out he was the only hope of destroying Godzilla. So he forced himself into using the machine. He also destroyed all the blueprints from it, so the military won't use it ever. So then Ogata and Sarazawa went down into the ocean, and they found Godzilla sleeping in the ocean. And as Godzilla was sleeping in the ocean, the Sarazawa then throws the Oxygen Destroyer. Ogata went back into the surface, and he was yelling, "Sarazawa! Sarazawa!" in Japan. But then Sarazawa decided to commit suicide by cutting the air filter, the air pipeline, where the air doesn't get in his suit anymore. As he was saying to him that Ogata, that the Oxygen Destroyer is working, telling him to live happily with Emiko, and said farewell to him. And that was the end, and that's a very sad ending. As Dr. Sarazawa dies, then after that, Godzilla comes up for air as he was being killed, as he was being destroyed by the Oxygen Destroyer. And Godzilla tries getting up for air, and then falls down back into the ocean. And then Godzilla falls in the ocean, and then he gets reduced to a skeleton. And after that, the bones are destroyed, dissolved too. And that's the end of Godzilla. And Godzilla's destroyed. Oh boy. Yeah, you've been feeling sorry for Godzilla too. And even I did. So, would I truly recommend this movie? Sure the fuck I do. And I have this film in this collection, the Godzilla collection, which is in the Criteria collection. Right in here comes up with two. The first film comes with 2 discs. This right here is the Japanese version, where here is the uncut American version. And want a good experience, you probably should try watching it in both subs and dubbed. So, I mean, this is the very first Godzilla movie is definitely not hard to find. It's not like all the others. And if you want to collect every Godzilla movie, and for a beginning, I recommend you grab this collection. That way, it gives you a good start on a collection. So, that's all I have to say for you guys. And I hope you had a great night. And and stay tuned for more Godzilla reviews. And I'll catch you later. Peace.